Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome at this press conference following the Foreign Affairs Council, which just concluded. We apologize for the delay. We have High Representative Federica Mogherini with us, who will make a few introductory remarks, and then we'll take your questions. High Representative, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much. I apologize for being late. That was not out of major divisions or discussions, but out of real in-depth conversation on all the points that we had on the agenda with all the ministers, concentrating on the two main political issues that we decided to have on the agenda today, which is on one side Ukraine, and on the other side the Middle East peace process. But we also touched upon other issues to which I will come afterwards. First of all, we started the morning with an informal session on working methods, and we've started working on some changes that we will introduce already from next time. A little bit more of informal exchanges, so in a more open format with the ministers and with guests. And in general, Foreign Affairs Council more concentrated on political messages and decisions to orientate our common action. So concentrating more on what we can do rather than on analyzing only the issues and the conflicts, and not only concentrating on conflict areas, but also on mid-term and long-term strategies for the European Union work. Coming to Ukraine, I guess you've seen already the conclusions we have adopted. The agreement among us is to define our action along three lines. On one side, obviously, a major European Union role, as this is clearly a European crisis, concentrated on avoiding that the situation gets even worse from a military point of view, from a social or economic point of view, and from the humanitarian point of view in the East. We will develop our work, especially together with the OSCE on the security level, but also with other regional organizations like the Council of Europe when it comes to internal reforms, for instance, of the Constitution with the Venice Commission. But the main discussion today was how to relaunch or how to re-engage in a dialogue, given that Russia is for sure part of the problem, but is also for sure part of the solution, of the possible solution to the crisis. How to engage with Russia in a dialogue between Kiev and Moscow, between Kiev and the east of Ukraine, between European Union and Russia, not only on Ukraine, but also on a wide series of elements, global, regional issues. And this is going to be one of the issues on which we will go more in depth in the coming months to reassess our overall relation with Russia. So one line, major EU political role on the way to find effective means to have a political solution to the crisis, engaging with the dialogue with Russia. Second, the instrument that we have used so far in our policy, not a policy in itself, but an instrument, the economic pressure with sanctions that are an effective tool in a broader strategy. And in this view, we decided today additional listings of individuals, as you have seen, and that will take place with a decision in the next 2 weeks. And third element of the discussion of the action we're going to take is concerning the internal Ukrainian reform path. On one side, asking for the political forces to come with a government, with a coalition government, as soon as possible. We are planning a series of visits, both some of the ministers, one commissioner, actually vice president of the commission was already there last week, Another commissioner is going to visit soon, Commissioner Hahn. I will pay a visit to Kiev as soon as the new government is formed. And I discussed that with Foreign Minister Klimkin in a bilateral meeting we had this morning before starting the Foreign Affairs Council. We also had the chance of signing, and actually it was my first act of signing in my new capacity, the status of mission agreement for the EU advisory mission on civilian security sector reform that will start so officially from December 1st as a clear sign of EU engagement to assist on the reforms. But apart from forming a government soon, we also made clear that we asked the new government to commit to reforms internally, as this is crucial to guarantee that the European Union support and assistance is there. And we strongly believe that this combination of three elements, attempt to have a political engagement, economic pressure with sanctions, and support and ask for a commitment on the Ukrainian side on internal reforms could hopefully lead the way to some positive developments that at the moment are not definitely there. We then had an in-depth discussion on Middle East with some orientation for the future work as well. I reported from my visit in Gaza, West Bank, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv, and Jordan, and of my contacts in the last days, most of all with John Kerry and with the actors in the region. And we decided that we definitely cannot just wait and see. Running of time is an element of desperation in the area that could be extremely dangerous, also for security reasons for Europe. And we decided to support new initiatives to relaunch a peace process. The lack of peace process at the moment is one of the causes of violence coming back, and to coordinate on the UN Security Council process on the Middle East, and in particular on the initiatives to relaunch the process. We will build on the possibility of having a regional framework, so working not only with the US, and not only, obviously, with the other, among all us Europeans, and in the UN Security Council, but also with some of the key Arab countries that in the region can facilitate the restarting of the process, in particular Jordan, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, that initiated in 2002 the Arab Peace Initiative that could be somehow a basis for rethinking of a regional framework. We then passed to Ebola. We had a briefing from Commissioner Christos Stylianides that just came back yesterday from the countries most affected, reported his work in coordinating the efforts of the European Union to face the epidemic. We will come back on that more consistently in December at the Development Foreign Affairs Council, and the Foreign Affairs Council also preparing the European Council of December that will take an assessment of the work done so far. Because among the working methods that we need to change is also better coordination between the different levels and formats of the European Council. Make sure that the previous ones managed to step in forming the agenda and the decisions of the European Council in itself. We had then a long discussion on, a long and good discussion on the Balkans and on Bosnia-Herzegovina, starting from initiatives that some of the member states were proposing and suggesting in the last months, the last of which was a German, UK initiative, but Croatia or Slovenia were suggesting similar things in the last months, trying to take advantage of the fact that just today the presidency was inaugurated. We have a new commission here, so without touching on any of the basic principles of our negotiations, still we believe that there might be a chance for opening a process on new basis without touching the conditionality, obviously, and without lowering the bar in any case. And there was, in this sense, an agreement by the member states that we should proceed in the coming days on that direction to Sarajevo. And we had also a point on Libya, sharing the need for continuous support to, even in extremely difficult conditions, to the work that the UN Secretary General Special Envoy Bernardino Leon is trying still to work on, to facilitate an internal dialogue so that we could get to one government ruling one country. So no military option and no division of Libya. I thank you very much. I'm sorry I was not only late but also long, but I'm ready to answer to your questions.